These thoughts up in my head. Things I never did. I took some L's, but I'm still here.
I got these thoughts up in my head. I toss and turn about some things I never said. I got regrets about some things I never did. I took some risks and took some L's, but I'm still here. And I know.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm your host, Ed, and as always, journey with me as we pursue greatness in a world full of chaos. We have made it to episode 38. 38, man. This is awesome. We're gonna talk about some things today that I feel like we should discuss. When it comes to who we are, how we navigate this world, and how we think of ourselves. So we're going to dive into that. But before I do that, I want to say thank you to everybody that has followed over on TikTok, everybody who's followed on Instagram, anybody who has shouted out on YouTube. I appreciate every single one of y'all. So, I can't build if y'all don't support. And I've been getting some really awesome comments, people wanting to start their own podcast, people who are being thankful for the things that maybe they overlooked before. So I'm just truly grateful for the fact that this is happening. So yeah, hopefully you had a great week. Hopefully things are going well for you. Hopefully you are building and growing and moving forward with life. And we want to try to stay positive and not overthink so much. So we're going to talk about a topic today that I think is very important to us: self-sabotage, because it is real. It happens more than we think, and we got to be able to stop it before we allow it to grow. So with all that being said, once again, thank you for everybody that's been supporting. If you want to support, just always remember that my podcast streams on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I'm also on YouTube as well. If you visit the YouTube channel, Overthinking Thoughts Podcast, you'll see the logo pop up. Feel free to subscribe, share the videos. And then, as always, if you want to support on the social medias, you can find me over at Instagram at OverthinkingThoughtsPod. You can also find me on TikTok at OverthinkingThoughtsPod. The interaction has been great. I appreciate everybody that is reaching out, and just lets me know that I got to keep going, and hopefully this will encourage you to do the same. My small victory is the shout out to all the seniors that I've worked with that are going to be graduating or have graduated when this airs. Super proud of every single one of them. They've worked so hard. They've allowed me to be a part of their journey. It just makes me feel like what I do is a good thing. But more importantly, it shows how far they've come on the journey. And they give up on themselves, even when they have moments of doubt. Even they have moments of feeling like, man, when is this going to end? They finally saw the finish line, and I'm just so happy for all of them. So all of y'all who support, shout out to y'all. Congratulations. Hope to see y'all soon. Okay, let's talk about some things. Let's start here. As overthinkers, as people who are anxious, sometimes we will go through life and we'll have situations in where we either have a great idea, or we started a new job, or we're in a new relationship, or whatever the case may be. And we're getting ready to start taking those steps. And then all of a sudden, there's this little voice in our head that says, I don't think you should do that. Or I don't think it's good enough. Or you're not worthy of this. Whatever it may be. And then what ends up happening is that we halt our progress. We stunt our own growth because we've put this belief of disbelief in our mind. We feel that if we have something set as a goal and then we stumble or fall or make a mistake or whatever, we feel like that's it. And I really want to dive into this because self-sabotage is real. We will hold ourselves hostage to our own ideas, our own passions, our own beliefs, and then we won't follow through because we feel like we're not good enough. That's not what we were put on earth to do. That's not how we're supposed to operate, right? So when I think about it, I think doubt is probably one of the first things that people go with. Because what ends up happening is we look at life and we see our trajectory. We see things that we've gone through and things that we've accomplished and things that didn't go as well. And we tend to put so much energy on the things that don't go well. So now all of a sudden, the idea, the job opportunity, the relationship, the promotion, whatever the case may be, we put self-doubt into our own minds so much that we'll stunt our own growth and we won't believe in who we are as people. And it becomes a habit because then every single thing that comes up that could be new, we end up holding ourselves back because we feel like, well, we're not good enough. That's not what we're meant to do. That's not why we're here. We all have a purpose. Every single one of you has something inside of you that is unique to this world, and we need it. The problem is, if you don't believe in it, it'll never come to life. And we need it to come to life in order for us to get better in every single aspect of life that we live. It is up to you to decide that you are strong enough, that you are good enough, and you're capable to achieve the dream that you have in your mind. But you got to believe it. But we spend this time comparing and contrasting all of the things that happen, right? So, for example, let's say, you're getting ready to start this new job and you're in a leadership role, right? And you're watching how other people have done it. And because you don't have the same skill they have, or you don't have the same mindset, or you're looking at things differently, you might start to creep into your own mind and say, well, I don't know if that's really something I can do. Like, I don't know. And everybody else has done it this way, but I'm not doing it this way. Or everybody else is doing this and I'm doing that. Like, we we have this weird way of being so strong, and the strength is that we put up a barrier, and then we don't even allow ourselves to move forward. And that's part of the chaos in the world, right? Like, some of it is us. Now, sometimes there's other factors that are out there that could prevent us from chasing after what we want, but a lot of times it's us who stops ourselves. It's us who say to ourselves, we're not good enough. And it doesn't make sense, because if you dreamt it and you have this vision and you have this goal, why would you not go after it? A lot of times people are selling themselves short on a dream because they don't think that they're the ones capable of achieving the dream. They rather give the idea to somebody else. They rather sit back and allow, you know, everybody else to go past them. And that's just not a feeling that I think we as individuals should have. Doubt is a very powerful tool, and unfortunately, it is used more often in everything that we try to do. We doubt our relationships, we doubt our own strengths, we doubt our own work ethic, we doubt the motivation that we may have, and then all these good ideas that you might have had goes to waste, or it goes to the side. And it's just one of those things where it's like, why would you spend so much time motivating yourself just to get to the end and quit? Why would you spend all this time investing a work ethic and then just getting to a point to where you throw it all away? Why is it that you can see the finish line, but then you want to stop midway through the race because you doubt that you can make it? That's not what we're put here to do. That's not what we're supposed to do. And the more you do it, the more you diminish who you are as a person, and it cancels out the characteristics of who you are individually. I'll tell you, everybody has something on this earth, whether it's major where you're talking to millions of people, or whether it's you're influencing 2 to 3 people. It doesn't matter what the audience is. What matters is that you deliver on the gift that has been given to you. But why would you creep in and tell yourself that you can't do it? Why would you spend so much time putting yourself in a negative situation when you were born to shine, yet you're allowing dark clouds to interfere with what you can see? And it happens to some of the greatest minds in the world. Like Nipsey Hussle said it best, man. Like, the difference between me is and other people is that I just didn't quit. I didn't give up. I didn't back up from this. I knew it was gonna be hard, but I'm gonna keep going. Like that. And I think sometimes that's the challenge. It's like when things get difficult, what we tend to do is focus on all the times where we failed, and we never take the time to think, what if we succeed? Like, think about it from a basketball standpoint. You just watched a series where Boston was down 3-0, then they fought back to go 3-3, right? And Miami heard all the doubts from the beginning. They were a playing team. They'll never make it past the first round. They don't have the right players. They're not good enough. They're going to be, weak or whatever. They're in the finals. Even with the odds stacked against them, if you pay attention to like what Jimmy Butler says or any other players, they never lost sight of the goal. And they never gave up on themselves even when it got bad. They knew it was going to be tough. They knew it was going to be a challenge. They still conquered it. And you'll probably say to me, well, yeah, but they're NBA players. But they're supposed to do that. Have you seen some of these players? Have you seen some of these people that get in their mind and then they think too much, and then the career that should have excelled starts to slowly diminish? The same thing goes for you. When you out in your field, or when you out in your calling, right? And you decide to let this negative energy impact your steps, how do you expect to grow? How do you expect to move forward if the only thing you're giving yourself is doubt? Is the only thing that you're giving yourself is denial. The only thing that you're giving yourself is this dark cloud of anxiety and worrying about what if, and then that anxiety leads to overthinking, and the overthinking leads into depression, and depression leads into you never stepping out into what it is that you were called to do. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to the gift that's inside of you. It's not fair to the calling. And here's the thing about the calling. If you have a call on your life, you have to answer it. If you're called to do something, you got to answer that call. Because it's not meant for anybody else to go after it. It's strictly for you. But if you ignore it and you hang up on it, you're giving up on your dreams, you're giving up on your passions, and you're giving up on the very thing that could impact you and others around you. So answer the call when it comes. And listen, you're going to make mistakes. It happens. I was watching TikTok the other day and I shared it on my Instagram. Eric Thomas was talking about how back in the day, he was so disrespectful to his mother. And a lot of the decisions he made took him away from the great things he wanted to do. And now that undoubtedly, you could argue that he's probably the top motivational speaker, or at least one of them. He looks back and he's like, man, I feel guilty about it. I feel terrible about it. I feel, ashamed that I put my mom through this, ashamed that I put myself through this, ashamed that I was setting these goals and I gave up on myself. But he said something that was so powerful. He said, it's over with. It's done. I'm forgiven for it. And he quoted, if faith is your background, he quoted, whoever God sets free is free indeed. Whoever the Son sets free is free indeed. So if he set you free and you were forgiven, why are you still holding on to that? Why are you keeping track of what you've done and it's already been forgotten? In fact, there was a pastor that said this, and I thought it was so cool. It was Stephen Chandler from Union Church. He said, we have a better track record of our mistakes than God does, because we tend to hold on to the things that we were forgiven, and then we're trying to figure out why it's so heavy to move forward, because you hold on to something you don't need. It's the same thing when you doubt yourself. You holding on to this false belief that's not real. You're holding on to something, a figment of your imagination, that if you were just to remove it, you might be able to see the steps needed in order to be successful. But it goes back to your belief. You gotta have a positive affirmation over your life. You gotta speak to yourself. You gotta hype yourself up. You should be your number one hype man. When the odds are stacked against you, it's like, look, man, we gonna make it through. I'm gonna show people that it doesn't matter what I go through or what was put against me. You gotta have the Antoine Fisher attitude. I'm still standing. I'm still strong, and I always will be. You gotta have that type of attitude when you getting ready to move forward in life, right? But you can't overthink this thing. You can't be anxious about these things, right? It's a mindset that you have to have, because trust me, other people gonna doubt you. Other people are gonna say you're not gonna make it. Other people are gonna wish for your downfall. Why would you do it to yourself? What's the point? What's the point of self-sabotaging yourself when you were meant to be something greater than what you are? Doubt we got to eliminate. I understand the nerves. I understand maybe wondering if you're going to make it all the way through. I get that in the beginning. But if you are going to make the progress, like if you're going to take steps toward what it is, you got to see it all the way through. Or, got to see it through, my boy. You got to. There's no other way. Otherwise, you're going to sit back and be like, man, if only. Stop writing the what if story. Stop doing that. Stop writing the, oh, I could have done this, but man, too many people have done that. There's too many people in your life, too many people in your neighborhoods, too many people that you've seen that are probably greater or could have been greater, but cancel themselves out because of self-doubt. It ain't worth it. It's just not. That leads me to the next point I want to make. Doubting is one thing, but talking yourself out of something or talking yourself down or putting these thoughts in your head and telling yourself you're not going to make it is one of the worst forms of self-love that's out there. You start telling yourself that you're not worthy, you're not strong enough, you're not good enough, you're not as good as other people. Man, you have then damaged your soul because you start to believe what you say. And the negative talk is something like I'm guilty of it. I am. Even with this podcast, I was like, I don't know if people are gonna pay attention. I don't know. Maybe I could get discouraged, man. Like I don't get a lot of views on YouTube. I get interactions on TikTok and some on Instagram, but I keep going because I know that all it takes is just one. It only takes one time in order for people to really see all of it. And that's not really my main goal either. My main goal is the people who come across it. If I can give them something that motivates them, if I can give you something that allows you to make your day just slightly better, I've done my job. That's my call. That's my purpose. I realized I had a talk with a really good mentor, friend, big brother, former coach of mine who was helping me analyze. And I spent all weekend thinking about, like, the direction and where I want to take this podcast, the direction where I want to take my life. I realized over the course of time, I've felt my strongest when I was motivating others and encouraging others. Because then what ended up happening was I started encouraging myself. I started taking my own advice. If I'm telling the student not to doubt themselves and they could go in the classroom and be successful, why would I doubt myself in the job position? Why would I doubt myself as a coach or as a father? Right? Like, because that's real thing. I got to think about those things. I got to think about, as a dad, am I doing everything to keep my kids in the right line and help them be successful? As a husband, am I doing everything to make my wife happy? Am I doing everything to provide for her? Am I doing everything to make sure that she's taken care of? Sometimes I fail, but I'm not going to give up on the people I care about and the people I love. And the best way for me not to do that is to love myself. And I struggled with that. But the more I grow up, the more I realize I was looking for validation from everybody else. I was looking for acceptance from everybody else. When reality, I needed to take time to accept myself. And you got to look at yourself and ask, am I looking for validation from others, or am I trying to build myself up? It starts with you. You are the key to your own success because you have to look within inside and ask yourself, is what I'm doing attainable? Yes. Is what I'm going after something that's going to benefit me and others? Yes. What's stopping me? Me. My talk. When you wake up in the morning, I thank God for the day. I'm grateful that my kids are awake. I'm grateful my wife's awake. And then I try to figure out, okay, how can I make this day better? Say my prayers and go about my day. You might go a different route. You might look yourself in the mirror and start talking to yourself on a daily basis. That's fine. Speak positive to yourself. You got to speak life into yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to be slowly taking yourself to a death that you don't want. And there's so many people that when they get on their deathbed and you ask them, man, what's something that you wish you could have done differently or whatever, the common themes, I wish I could have done more. I wish I did this or did that. And I want to, I wish I could have built whatever, right? Well, you have that right now. You're in a position to build off that. My very first episode was called What Are You Waiting For? And now I'm looking up and I'm 30 plus episodes in. If I would have kept waiting, this would have never happened and I would never be able to stand before you or sit before you and talk to you about building yourself up. How you talk to yourself is going to be crucial to how you build your platform. How you view yourself is going to be crucial to how you present yourself to others. You're your own walking business card. And when people see you, what are they going to say about you? Oh, man, like he seems pretty positive. I think that's a guy that I want to listen to. Or I don't know what he's doing, but every time he try to do something, he doubts himself. Like there's people that will go around and literally say the worst things about themselves because they don't believe in themselves. They'll say nasty things that make them feel like they can never overcome whatever obstacle they're facing. It's a sad reality because this world is ugly and there's enough people out there that's already saying things about you. If you don't look like this, if you don't do this, if you don't take this path, if you don't have this amount of money, if you don't have this house, this car, whatever, man, stop paying attention to people that don't know your life and start focusing on you. Because they don't know your journey. You might have had a rough upbringing. You might have had to face some trials and tribulations. You might have had a rough patch. You might have had to hit rock bottom and rebuild. But the fact that you're still going, that's positive. The fact that you can see where you were and be grateful for where you are now, that's positive. The fact that you haven't given up on yourself, that's positive. The fact that you're alive today and you have a chance to either start going in the direction of where you know you're called or just let it sit to the side, don't do that. Go after what it is that you've been called to do and put yourself in a position to be great. Like I can't like express it enough. Like as a coach, when I see a player who's down on themselves, I have to go talk to them because I have to get them to understand that every basketball player has started somewhere. They weren't always great. You can look at the greats, man. Like Jordan got cut from high school. LeBron, when he was in high school, it took a while, but he didn't have a left hand when he first started. Kobe was getting through high school, and his first couple years with the Lakers were rough. Giannis came in, and nobody thought that he would ever win a championship. You feel what I'm saying? Like these are people who started off maybe not having full belief, but then they realized like this is something I'm called to do. So I'm about to go in and give everything I got to it to make myself the best version of me. So you can't bury yourself in negative words, especially coming from you, because you're gonna be your biggest supporter. When times get rough and people don't see the behind the scenes of the nights where you stayed up and you trying to manifest ideas and you struggling, or the times where you know you've tried to succeed at something and you fail, they don't see your tears, they don't see the hurt, they don't see the pain, they don't see how many times you were at the border of trying to give up, but you didn't. You didn't because you know there's something greater at the end. It's worth fighting for, but you got to believe in yourself and you got to talk positive to yourself. Negative talk is unnecessary. Positive talk is everything. Tell yourself you're going to make it. Tell yourself that you're good enough. Tell yourself that you're strong enough. Tell yourself that you believe in yourself. Start talking to yourself like you talk to other people, because you give great advice to other people. I know you do. You give great advice to everybody else because you want to see them shine. Why would you not want the same for yourself? How can you be so positive for everybody else and then turn around and look at you and doubt yourself? Talk bad to yourself. But you're going to muster up the courage to be strong for everybody else, which is great. Don't get me wrong. Great skill to have. But if you can talk positive to them, why would you not start with you, with what's inside of you? You are beautiful on the inside and out. You are a strong person. You're capable of many things. You have a very brilliant mind. You're intelligent. You're strong. You're courageous. You're bold. You have all of these skills. Tap in to who you are as a person. Write down what you want to do. Study what you want to achieve. Talk to others who are in those positions and see what they went through. And then feed that positivity to yourself. You're a seed, okay? I want you to think about this. You are a seed. And you're going to have to plant yourself in the ground before you can even start the growing process. So you're going to have to cover yourself. You're going to have to bury yourself a little bit. But bury yourself with a strong foundation. Bury yourself with knowledge. Bury yourself with self-talk. And then start feeding yourself the positive things that you need. Seeds need water to grow. So hydrate yourself in the sense of positive affirmations, hanging around people that want to see you grow, being real with yourself and understanding like, hey, if I'm not making it here, I know I got to keep going. Oh, I fell. Okay, I got to get back up. I'm going to brush myself off and keep going. And each day, nurture yourself with love and respect. Because eventually, what's going to happen is the more you start doing that, you're going to grow. And regardless of your situation, you might just be that rose that comes out of concrete. You might just be the one that people are counting on. So do not, under any circumstance, give up on who you are. And don't ever speak negative to yourself. You're a beautiful person. You're a smart person. You're a strong person. You're great. Why would you tell yourself that you're not? I don't care if you made a mistake. Okay, you fell. I'm more concerned about the steps you're going to take to get better because I know that you will. Learn from when you fell. Learn from when you made that bad decision. Learn from when you thought, oh man, this was wrong. Like, build yourself up from that point. It's an honorable and respectful thing to do for yourself. But whatever you do, you better not give up on your dreams. You better not give up on your visions. You better not give up on your goals. More importantly, don't you dare give up on yourself because you are counting on you to be great. And the thing is, the better off you build yourself, the better off it's going to be for others. Now, I'm not telling you to go out here, be selfish and, forget everybody else. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is you got to believe in you. You have to every single day you have a choice to make. It's either I'm going to allow negativity and self-doubt to keep me away from my dreams, or I'm going to use every experience that I have, every lesson that I'm learning to get better. And then what I'm going to do from that is build off that. Here's my foundation, and I'm going to stand firm on that. And I'm not going to let the negative things stop me. There might be some minor setbacks. There might be some things that halt my progress. Okay, cool. But I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm not going to let it deter me. I'm going to let it build me up to be the best version of me that I can be, which helps me accomplish my goals, which helps me accomplish my dreams, which helps me see my vision, which helps me to help others, which helps me to speak positive over others because I can speak positive over myself. So doubt, negative talk, get rid of all of that. It has no purpose in your life. It's only meant to destroy and make you overthink. And you don't want to do that. I don't want you to be anxious. I don't want you to be nervous. I don't want you to overthink. Well, am I good or am I not? You won't know until you try. And if you try it and it don't work, if you gave your all, then you know, okay, that's not for me. But I found something in that that's going to allow me to get better. I found something in it that I can build off of. So I'm going to build off of this and I'm going to grow with this. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to do something really good. But you got to trust in yourself, man. You have to. Whatever it is that's making you feel like you're not good enough or that you're not going to make it, here's the advice. Write it down. Write down every bad, negative thought that you have of yourself. And what I want you to do, get an envelope. You fold that piece of paper, put it in the envelope, you seal it. Get a box, put it in a box. Find a spot, dig up some dirt, bury it, and never go back to it. Negative thoughts, all of that, let it go. Let it go. And start thinking positive. My goal for you this week, find one positive thing about yourself and build off of that. Just one. Just one. And if you're struggling to find something, I want you to think, if you're in the mirror, like, I don't know what to say or I don't know what to do, just think of the simple fact that you're able to see yourself and you're right there. That's enough. You being alive, that's enough. You having breath in your lungs, that's a great start. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some time. Stop doubting yourself. Stop talking negative to yourself. Believe in you like I believe in you. Understand? I want you to be great. There's enough chaos in this world and there's enough negativity out here that can try to hold you down. But you are built for something greater. So now we got to go get it. So stay positive. Stay true to yourself. And remember that I believe in you. Now go believe in yourself. It's the Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm Ed. We out.
These thoughts up in my head. Things I never did. I took some L's, but I'm still here. I got these thoughts up in my head. I toss and turn about some things I never said. I got regrets about some things I never did. I took some risks and took some L's, but I'm still here. And I know.